Russia says 2 people have been killed after what they are calling a Ukrainian attack against the vital bridge that links Crimea to Mother Russia.
It comes as the Kremlin says it is halting the deal, allowing the export of Ukrainian grain.
It's going to be substantial. Alexandria Hoff is live in Washington. Alexandria, what's the damage?
Yeah, let's talk about the damage for that bridge, because it is logistical and it's also symbolic in many ways. This Crimean bridge is the only transport artery that connects Russia to the Crimean Peninsula. So Russian supply routes for the war against Ukraine were cut off early this morning after the Kremlin said that Ukrainian naval drones caused the partial collapse of the bridge. No word when that's going to be repaired. Symbolically, as I mentioned, it's another hit to President Putin's pride. He opened the bridge himself by driving on it in 2018. That was in celebration of annexing the region from Ukraine. At the same time, you mentioned Russia has pulled out of the unusual wartime deal that had allowed Ukraine to export grain. The goal there was to avoid a global food crisis. We've already seen grain prices rise since this announcement was made. And the Biden administration is also trying to remedy a U.S. military supply shortfall, which was revealed to the world when the president let this slip earlier this month.
The Ukrainians are running out of ammunition. The ammunition that they call them 155 millimeter weapons. This is a war relating to munitions, and they're running out of that ammunition, and we're low on it.
Well, the White House's John Kirby said yesterday that the administration is working with the defense industry to restock.
We're working very closely with the defense industry to try to ramp up production, particularly for artillery shells. You saw that we gave some cluster munitions to Ukraine as a bridging solution here while we ramp up production. We're having very, very strong conversations with the defense industry, and we believe that we'll be able to get there.
Sure hope we do. Kirby was responding to the report from the Center for Strategic and International Studies that found that replacing our munition inventory, that could take between 4 to 7 years. Guys, we'll
so Alexandria, it looks like it was drones that did it, but they didn't get the train. And the train is the one that delivers a lot of the weaponry, correct?
Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah, this is a route for vehicles and for trains. It seems like the train could have been the target of this. They only got the westbound sides of this roadway. If these were naval drones, I don't know exactly how accurate those could be. But yeah, this looks like something, unfortunately, that can be repaired, and that access and still in some way will be able to get through during that time.
It's just going to slow them way down,
That's right.
And that's what the Ukrainians want. All right, Alexandria, there you can see that one of the spans has collapsed.
Sure.
Thank you very much. It happened at 3 o'clock in the morning. Obviously, they wanted as few casualties, civilians, as possible.
Yeah, we have a lot of bridges like this in New York, where the train runs and shares the bridge also with the cars, the vehicles, and that's what happened here. It's the vehicle side, the section that the vehicles travel on was the one that was destroyed. The train does still work, as you were saying, Brian. A mother and a father, I heard this morning, were killed. Their daughter was in the car too, and she was injured.
Right. That's sad. But on a daily basis, the Russians are targeting civilians. That is never the intent of the Ukrainians. The Russian economy is in free fall, according to the Wall Street Journal. 93% drop in their currency. The ruble's in free fall, they say. Moscow has a huge chunk of oil and gas products are down 36%. So they're getting hit hard. They also are firing a bunch of generals. And this guy Popov is popping off, ripping the generals that are in charge and the people calling the shots in Moscow. Meanwhile, the Wagner Group is beginning to relocate to Belarus. So they're out of the fight, going for now to a base that was abandoned in Belarus. So almost the deal that was explained to us that everyone said was a ruse, turns out it might have been the deal. So we'll see what's going on there. One thing is pretty clear. The President of the United States saying we're out of ammo helps the Russian cause ridiculously. And the fact that Jake Sullivan's on CNN saying, well, the previous administration said we were out of bullets and they never did anything to fix it. They never tire of blaming Donald Trump. 2.5 years in to their reign, they're blaming Trump when Trump had all the money pouring into defense, and all they've done is they are cutting below inflation. So they're really cutting defense below 3% and blaming Trump for the problems they have.
Well, the problem for us, for all of us in the United States, is we've run out of a lot of stuff. You know, when Joe Biden let slip, and we just saw Alexandria play that soundbite where he goes, we're out of 155 caliber rounds. They say, John Kirby was on with Shannon Bree over the weekend and said, you know, because we're running low on things, we're going to ship them a bunch of these cluster munitions as a bridging solution. Even though they are outlawed by 130 countries, most of the world says they are too dangerous to use, even in war. So they've looked at exactly how long it's going to take to restock our munitions. When it comes to the 155 caliber shells, it's going to take between 4 and 7 years to replace it. That's a long time. They are estimating that the javelins we have given to Zelensky will take 8 years to replace. And the Stinger missiles that we've shipped 1 trillion of them over there, this is jaw-dropping. They say it will take 18 years to replace them. So, you know, when the president reveals we're out of stuff, we're out of a lot of stuff.
But there's a couple of things that add to that. That's if we do the current way we're doing it. We have to adjust the way we're doing it. And we got to get into almost a wartime footing. And guess what? It's a for-profit business. Not only do we need stuff, and we will write the checks for this stuff, but the other countries will buy it from us where we can make a profit as well. So the current situation, they consolidated too much in the 90s. There is no market pressure on them. And they say, we need a long-term deal. You want me to make javelins? I need a 10-year commitment. Because if I ramp up and make javelins and you stop ordering them after 3, I lose money and I have an obligation to my shareholders. So what you do is you sign a 10-year commitment. You begin to incentivize these defense contractors to spread out, refan out, and possibly mandate that they separate. Say we made a mistake in the 90s, but don't go doing what you're doing now. Clearly, there's a problem.
I would love to talk to an expert that knows exactly what we have in our arsenal. But then again, they're not going to tell us because the president was not supposed to tell the entire world that we were running low on these
John Kirby confirmed
155s. Exactly. But they're not going to tell us. So where are we getting that information? How do we know it would take that long to replenish? Surely we would be able to replenish faster. What if we needed it in the war next year?
It's in a FoxNews.com story this morning, but the worry is, you know, what if something around the world blows up and we got to do something about it? You know, the cupboard is bare. So there are a lot of Americans
Maybe that one shelf is bare. Hopefully the other closets are full.
We got to reestablish a different system for production. Meanwhile, President Trump says he could end it in 24 hours. He went into detail, the Russia-Ukraine fight. Here's what he told Maria how he would do it.
I know Zelensky very well, and I know Putin very well, even better. And I had a good relationship, very good with both of them. I would tell Zelensky, no more. You got to make a deal. I would tell Putin, if you don't make a deal, we're going to give them a lot. We're going to give them more than they ever got if we have to. I will have the deal done in one day.
The problem is, one country invaded the other, took 20% of their country. Unless Russia agrees to get out, there can't be a deal.
They might not have done it, though, if Donald Trump were in charge. The withdrawal would have looked different in Afghanistan, too, I believe.
Well, nonetheless, we need more bullets, and it's taking way too long. I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.